My eyes are permanently crooked. This is caused by strabismus. Strabismus is a condition that causes a person's eyes to be going in two different directions. Strabismus is typically caused by poor eye muscle control or by extreme farsightedness. There are 4 different types of strabismus. There's hypertropia, when one eye goes upward, hypotropia, when one eye goes downward, exotropia, when one eye goes outward, and esotropia, when one eye goes inward. Throughout my life, I've had 3 of the 4 different types of strabismus. As a toddler, I had esotropia and hypertropia, and then as I got older, or after my surgery, I developed exotropia. Did you know Ryan Gosling has strabismus too, and that we both have the same type? You know what that means. Only really attractive people have strabismus, like us. Strabismus affects around 4% of both children and adults across the world, with each different type of strabismus also having its own rarity as well. There are many different ways you can treat strabismus with things such as glasses, prism lenses, eye patching, Botox, and surgery. Strabismus surgery is when they detach the muscle or muscles from the eye that are causing the problem and then reattach them so that way the eyes appear to be looking straight. Strabismus surgery is 80 to 90% successful, with 10 to 20% of people needing a follow-up surgery 3 to 6 months later. With having strabismus surgery, they have to go through the same access point every time you have the surgery. So having surgery more than needed is not a very practical option. I have had 2 strabismus surgeries, both leaving me with exotropia after the stitch dissolves. That makes me really special. Like, I'm practically God's chosen one. With having strabismus, it makes a lot of daily tasks a lot harder. Things such as grabbing something that someone else is handing to me is a lot harder with strabismus. This is because I don't have depth perception. This means that I see the world in 2D, whereas most people see the world in 3D. This also means that I never understood why 3D movies were so cool to everyone else. 3D movies made no sense to me because they looked no different than any other movie. I didn't find out that 3D movies looked different to everyone else until I was 16 or 17 years old, which was when I found out that I don't have depth perception, and everything just clicked. It helped me understand a lot more about myself. It helped me understand why I had such difficulty in some everyday tasks that most people don't have any problem with. Something as simple as going up and down the stairs can be a lot harder when you can't tell how far the stairs are. I use shadows in my everyday life as a tool to help me tell how close or far I am to things. Shadows are something so little that most people don't think twice about, but are something that I use every day. I also really enjoy doing things such as welding, where not having depth perception is made a lot harder. So I tell how close or far I am from the plate I'm welding on based on the amount of light that's given off. A lot of things that people don't think twice about are things that I have had to learn how to do without depth perception. Something as simple as opening a door is a lot harder without depth perception. A lot of the times when I go to open a door, I either hit the door or I completely miss the handle because I can't tell how close or far I am to it. A lot of simple everyday tasks are a lot harder without depth perception. Things as simple as a high five and playing catch with your friends are a lot harder when you can't tell how close or far things are from you. I don't have depth perception because my eyes can't work together. They work separately. So one eye sends my brain one signal, whereas the other eye sends my brain a completely different signal. Whereas your guys' eyes send your brain the same signal at the same time. With having strabismus, I have a dominant eye and a non-dominant eye. My dominant eye is my right eye, but I can switch which eye I'm using. So what I see out of the eye that I'm not using is blurry, and what I see out of the other eye is clear. So So I typically explain it as having extra peripheral vision, so because the vision is there, it's just blurry. I also see colors differently out of each of my eyes, which seems to be somewhat normal after having strabismus surgery. I don't see them as completely different colors, I just see them as different shades most of the time. With having strabismus, people also often get confused as to where I'm looking. So when I meet new people, I usually have to tell them what eye to look at. Even my family members and friends get confused as to where I'm looking at times, which is very understandable, but can become quite frustrating for me at times. However, when I get photos, especially school photos, the photographers always love to tell me to look at the camera. If I'm lucky, they tell me to do this before every picture they take, which makes me giggle, because if I could, I would, and I feel like that should be obvious. Just the other week, one of my friends left me unopened on Snapchat. So I texted him and said, just because my eyes go different ways doesn't mean I can't see that you left me unopened. I also enjoy playing pool on iMessage games with one of my friends, but he gets annoyed when I beat him multiple times in a row. So when that happens, I just tell him I'm using my good eye, and that's why I'm doing so well. I love when I can tell jokes and joke with other people about how my eyes go different ways. Overall, with that being said, my vision may be blurry, but my future is very clear.